now approaching launch pad 39A. This pad still kind of looks like it's set up for the shuttle, but they've signed a 20-year lease with SpaceX on that pad, and they've modified it for their Falcon 9 and their Falcon Heavy rockets. They put a new building up right in the middle of crawlerway. They don't use a crawler transporter. They assemble their rockets in there horizontally. They built a rail system to get them up on the pad. They have a transporter that'll take it up that hill and pick it up vertical for the launch. Last launch from this pad was a 3 months ago. It was a Falcon 9 rocket. That was their 12th launch from this pad. They just started launching here last February, so they've been sending up on a fairly regular basis. So the last 3 weeks or so, they've been playing around with this Falcon Heavy rocket. Okay, it's in the building right now. Now, they call it a Falcon 9. It has 9 engines underneath of it. This Falcon Heavy is 3 Falcon 9 rockets strapped together. Can you imagine a rocket with 27 engines under it? When they launch this rocket, it'll currently be the most powerful rocket in the world. It's going to keep that title until we launch the new Space Launch System rocket here in the next couple of years. Now, they've had that rocket up on the pad and down off the pad 3 times. They've done a static test fire, which is they light the engines up for just a few seconds, make sure everything's going to work well. So now all they do is try to get this back up on the pad and hopefully launch it Tuesday. Now, the outside 2 segments of this rocket are previously flown rockets. They're going to try to bring both of those down at Cape Canaveral. The center stage is a new section. They're going to keep that with it a little bit longer. They're going to try to bring that down on the barge. Now, if they could bring down 3 first stages at the same time, I would think that would be a pretty good trick all by itself. What do you think? Yeah. All right. So when it says test flight, okay, it's pretty risky. You don't want to put millions of dollars of satellites on a test flight. The thing could blow up, go the wrong direction. There's a million things that go wrong with it, right? So they usually use just bricks or blocks or metal or something like that. But of course, Elon Musk has SpaceX here. He's a little more creative than that. He also has Tesla Motors and Solar City. Anybody know what he put on the top of his rocket? His personal Tesla Roadster, yeah, his car. And I think it's a 2008 or 2009 model. And it's a bright red car. He's going to send it to Mars. And when he launches this on the radio, it's going to be playing a Space Oddity by David Bowie. So how's that for publicity? All right. So anyway, that's scheduled to launch next Tuesday. I think the launch window is 1:30 to 4:30. Watch the news. These things can move around, especially on a test flight. You never know. So keep an eye out. Now, the tallest part of that pad is an 80-foot tall white lightning mast. That's about the same size as the Mercury Redstone rocket, to give you a little scale there. Beneath of that is the fixed service structure. That's actually the top 2/3 of the service structure that was used during the Apollo program. At that point, it would have been mounted on top of the mobile launch platform. The platform, the tower, and the rocket would all come down the crawlerway together. On the left side of that fixed service structure is what's left of the rotating service structure. The rotating service structure would have closed around the shuttle to protect it, allow them to work on it while it was on the pad. That's how they get the payload into their orbiter. SpaceX really not needing that, so they're in the process of taking that down. Well, folks, if you have a chance to get back into this area to watch that launch, I highly recommend it. It is going to be awesome. I think a lot of the stuff around Kennedy Space Center is sold out. They pre-sold a lot of that. You can check on the website or information to see if there's anything left. But you can watch it from Port Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, the Causeway over the Banana Rivers. Lots of good places to see this rocket launch. And if you can't watch it, if you can't go back and watch it, you can always watch it live. They do a really good webcast. You can watch that live on SpaceX.com, or you can even go back and replay it after the fact. You can go back and look at some of these other recent Falcon launches as well. You can find those on YouTube, and they're definitely worth a little time.